Let me tell you something most men never hear. If a woman has never replayed a conversation with you in her head, if she has never wondered what you were thinking, if she has never felt that subtle anxiety of possibly losing you, it is not because you are not good enough. It is because you are too easy to understand, too available, too emotionally transparent, too predictable. Predictability feels safe, but safety alone does not create intensity. The men women think about constantly are not always the most attractive. They are not always the richest. They are not always the loudest in the room. They are the ones who create emotional movement. Movement creates memory. Memory creates attachment. And attachment, when it deepens, turns into constant thought. Here is the paradox. The more you try to make her attached, the more she detaches. The more you chase reassurance, the more her nervous system relaxes. And once her nervous system relaxes too much, intensity fades. Today, we are going deep, not into tricks, not into manipulation, but into the psychology of emotional gravity. By the end of this video, you will understand why some men live in a woman's mind long after they leave, and why others are forgotten within days. Stay until the end, because the final principle is the one that separates emotional attraction from emotional addiction. Section 1. Intense attraction requires emotional variance. The human brain does not obsess over stability, it obsesses over contrast. Think about music. If a song is one single note repeated over and over, you stop hearing it. But when there are shifts in tone, drops, buildups, silence followed by sound, you feel something. Women respond to emotional contrast in the same way. If you are warm every day, texting every morning, checking in every night, reassuring constantly, there is no contrast, there is no emotional spike, there is no internal question mark. Now understand this clearly. Emotional variance does not mean emotional chaos. It does not mean mood swings, it means depth. It means you can be present and warm when you are with her, but fully immersed in your own world when you are not. It means you are not constantly accessible. It means your attention is earned, not automatic. When she feels warmth from you, then space, then depth. Her brain begins to track you. Tracking creates thinking. Thinking creates attachment. Attachment creates mental replay. And mental replay is the foundation of thinking about you constantly. Section 2. Scarcity activates value. Scarcity is not a dating trick. It is basic human psychology. We value what feels limited. If something is always available, it becomes background noise. Most men overexpose themselves emotionally. They tell her everything about their day, every thought, every insecurity, every feeling, immediately. There is no discovery. There is no unfolding. There is no space for curiosity. When your presence feels constant and guaranteed, she relaxes into certainty. Certainty feels comfortable, but comfort alone does not generate intensity. Now imagine this instead. You have routines, you have goals, you have obligations. You do not respond instantly every time, not because you are playing a game, but because you are genuinely engaged in your own life. When she sends a message and you respond later with calm energy, she registers something subtle. He is not waiting on me. He is not orbiting me. That small signal creates recalibration, and recalibration creates thought. She begins to evaluate your position in her life. Evaluation creates mental engagement. Mental engagement creates deeper investment. The more she invests mentally, the more she thinks about you when you are not there. Section 3. Emotional self-control creates gravity. This is where most men collapse. Everything is going well. Then she pulls back slightly. Maybe she takes longer to reply. Maybe she cancels once. Maybe her tone changes. Most men interpret this as danger, and they react. They increase effort. They overcompensate. They seek reassurance. But emotional self-control is what creates psychological gravity. If her emotions fluctuate and yours remain centered, you become the anchor. Anchors are powerful because they do not move with every wave. When she feels uncertainty and you remain stable, her mind begins to respect your emotional control. Respect deepens attraction, and attraction deepens attachment. If your mood shifts based on her energy, she subconsciously feels she controls the dynamic, and control reduces intensity. But when she feels she cannot predict your internal state because it is self-governed, she invests more attention trying to understand you. And attention is the beginning of obsession. Section 4. Mystery creates cognitive looping. The brain hates unfinished stories. When something feels incomplete, it replays it. That is cognitive looping. If you explain everything about yourself immediately, if you answer every question fully and instantly, if you reveal all your depth in the first week, there is nothing left to process later. But if you allow discovery over time, if you share layers gradually, if you do not over-explain your decisions, you create open loops. She leaves conversations thinking, what did he mean by that? Why did he say it that way? What is he thinking right now? Those small question marks become recurring thoughts. Recurring thoughts become attachment. Mystery is not silence. It is selective transparency. It is knowing that depth revealed slowly feels more powerful than depth revealed instantly. Section 5. The paradox of non-neediness. Here is the truth most men avoid. You cannot make someone think about you constantly if you are constantly thinking about them. Energy imbalance destroys tension. If she senses that your emotional state depends on her attention, the dynamic shifts. She relaxes because she feels secure in your availability. But if she senses that you are complete without her, that your routines exist without her, that your happiness is not dependent on her mood, she feels something else. Uncertainty, not fear, but awareness. Awareness that she could lose access to you. And humans protect what feels valuable. When you are centered in your purpose, when you have standards, when you are willing to walk away from disrespect, you become emotionally rare. Rarity creates value. Value creates attachment. Attachment creates thought. And thought, when repeated, becomes constant presence in her mind. Final truth. Let me be clear. This is not about manipulation. If you fake scarcity, it will collapse. If you pretend to be mysterious, it will feel hollow. If you act emotionally controlled but are internally anxious, she will sense it. This only works when it is genuine. Develop purpose, discipline, emotional regulation, depth, selective transparency. When those traits are real, you do not chase intensity. Intensity builds around you. Because you are no longer trying to be unforgettable. You simply are. If this resonated, subscribe for deeper psychological breakdowns. Comment attachment. If you want the next video on why women suddenly lose attraction when they feel you are too available, stay grounded, stay centered, and let attraction build itself.